Let's get into this. Roger Goodell. We got some issues with your Rooney rule. Your Rooney rule trying to force people to hire diversity. They ain't being forced to do it, or they ain't doing it like you want it. How we gonna fix this?
Hey, Roger, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I remember talking in your office back in 2019, and you had said that the league is always going to look at different things about hiring. Well, since then, you guys have expanded the Rooney Rule. You have put in a mandate to try to address the offensive side of the ball with the coaching fellowship program. And you also put candidates in front of the decision makers. But everybody knows that this cycle was 0 for 10 for black coaches, 1 for 9 for coaches of color. So should you just be resigned to the fact now that basically nothing you do can move the numbers between 3 to 7 on coaches and 3 to 7 on general managers, those historic numbers that we've seen?
You know me too well to say I'm resigned to something where I think we need to continue to make progress, and I believe that. I believe diversity is good for us. I think we have become a more diverse league across every platform, including coaching, but we still have more work to do. There's got to be more steps, so we're reevaluating everything we're doing, including our accelerated program, including every aspect of our policies and our programs, to meet the challenges of today and tomorrow rather than yesterday. So we need to be looking at that and sort of say, okay, why did we have the results this year? What is it that we can be doing in training or education, and that goes for not just the candidates, but also the clubs, and how we can try to continue to increase the opportunities and the outcomes ultimately.
Blah, blah, blah. I like Roger Goodell, probably more than the average bear, or at least the average bear would say. I love how he's grown the sport. I really do. I mean, no one's perfect, and I get that. At the same time, whenever someone like me, and I'm going to use this example all the time to personalize it because my experience is my expertise. Reason I love Roger Goodell more than any other reason is because when I had 29 sacks, they were offering me $40 million. When Joey Bosa had 29 sacks, they were offering him $128 million. Let me do it better. That's a commissioner for y'all. Do the same and get 4X, we doing something. Okay, y'all can throw in, beat it up in the comments, all the other reasons you like or don't like Roger Goodell. But this is one thing I don't like about Roger Goodell, but he's being kind of forced to talk like this. I don't like the fact that he's talking about an issue that he knows there's no end zone. There's no goal line. There's no 6 points. There's no way you're going to fix this issue, and he knows this. But this is where the pandering kicks in, and everybody wants to feel emotionally soothed. So they want to hear somebody say something that they know that they can't really execute. You cannot go up to the owners and legislate desire. You can't. You can't go up to them and say, somehow, some way, I'm going to put these things in action, and this is what's going to happen. You can't legislate desire. I can't force you to like what you like. You remember when you were in high school, college, the girl that you thought about? When you got older, that ain't the same girl you want to marry. It can't be. It can't force what you need. It can't force what you want. Can't. You could try. It sounds good. Oh, you need to get a girl who went to this school and the girl who got mama and daddy. You end up marrying a rat. You can't legislate desire, man. So the NFL right now is caught in that position where they're trying to make these owners like what they don't like or what they do like. If I owned the NFL team, I'm sorry to say to everyone out there that team is going to look like me because MJ is going to be the team president. Araya, Maraca will be running business affairs. My daughter will be head of scouting and cheerleading because that's all she want to do. She ain't focused. Got to keep her on the road. In all seriousness, that ain't racial. That ain't even tribal. That's just me looking out for my own. And if you got 31, 32, if you count Green Bay, what the hell they are, community owned. But if you got 31 to 30, them people looking like, what'd you say, Roger? Hire who? Okay, that's part one. You can't legislate desire. You can't force it on me, Roger. You can't tell me who in that meeting room right there, who in that waiting room right there, who's going to come into this coach's office right here. I got to look at because of epidermis. Didn't didn't you and didn't Dr. King and didn't everybody tell me not to judge people on their color? Yeah. So why you want me to now judge him a little different, grade him on a little bit of a curve because of his color? Make it make sense, Roger. See, these are the conversations they really have. And then they come out here and they say all these eloquent things that don't have the resolve and the resolution. So I should say the resolution. So therefore, we're just going to keep going in circles. I told you this 20 years ago, but I'm the hater. I'm the sellout. When I'm telling you, no. Ain't nothing gonna change. It's gonna go up and it's gonna stay down. Right? And there's all other ways you gotta look at this as well. You gotta look at it from the player's perspective as well. You gotta look at it from the coach's perspective as well. One thing I love about Dr. Thomas Sowell, someone who I think, of all the people I've heard and all the people who I've studied and all the people that they push on us in mainstream education and indoctrination, and is the person that they neglect the most. He needs to be studied. This dude is like Yoda. But one thing that you can't also quantify, not correctly, not objectively, is attitude. And in all these conversations, what we neglect to talk about, and he talks a lot about this, is the attitude. I think in general, you would say, what's the culture around the candidates? There's a different attitude and culture when it comes to coaching. Right? Players, in general, players look at coaching different. Like if you're a real baller, you look at a coach like, man, that's too much work. Them hours suck. Right? It takes a special person to even want to be a coach. Typically, it's somebody who comes to an early realization that they can't ball. They were either raised by a coach who had the same realization when he was younger, or you start balling and you realize, okay, I balled, but I can now translate it into this, right? But you got to also suck it up, and you got to realize and put your head down, I'm about to lose a lot of my life. My personal life, gone. To become a GA all the way to the top, it's a 25-hour workday. 25-hour workday. The walls will babysit you. Not everybody signs up with that attitude, and not everyone signs up with that culture. Now, if we're going to stereotype and generalize, the black player who is the more athletic player in general, because there are more of them in the NFL, more of them thinking they're going to ball, more of them not thinking about when they fall, more of them is sitting there saying, I'm just going to ball, I'm just going to keep these cleats on. Where the other players are starting to grab their whistle. Just as simple. This is not that deep. It's just the problem is people don't want to hear it. But they see it. They know. The line is long no matter what color you are. But you know who been in front? You know who got to Six Flags early? You know who was in that line at 10 o'clock when the ride opened? X2 at Six Flags? It's a lot of guys who said, nah, I ain't going to ball no more. It's time to go get this. Now, please don't give me example after example of, oh, but that guy didn't ever coach before and he got there. That happens to everybody. Doc Rivers, Mike Tomlin, every sport, black, white, everybody. Mike Vrabel, whatever. You can't play that game. You got to play this game. You can't force people to do what they don't want to do, no matter how hard you try. So what's the resolution, Marcel? Just going to say that we ain't going to have no black coaches? No, we are going to have black coaches. We have, and we will always. But the need to a certain quota and number is where I push back. What is the right number? If you want to go by population, how many black men in, or first of all, there's not going to be a woman coach right now, or at least there isn't one. Not today. So what are we talking about, 6%? 6% of this U.S. population is black male? Are 6% of the coaches black? Last year it was. This year, things are still. You see, how you want to play this? How you want to cook it? How you want to cook it, y'all? Y'all don't want to see how the sausage is made. Y'all just want to hear nice poetic speeches that say, oh, we're going to try. Then them owners and Roger Goodell and even the players, like everybody knows this. This is like the worst kept secret. Everybody's sitting there like, man, you ain't fixing that. We need more white rappers. You can't force white rappers, even though Jay Wick is sick. I love Jay Wick. You can't force white rappers. We're going to play this game everywhere. But look, I don't have all the answers. I just bold enough to tell you what I'm thinking. I ain't the only one. Tell me, Bomani.
I just know this, and I want to close with this because I think that this part is very important. The problem with hiring as it relates to race in the NFL is not the Rooney Rule. The problem is that not that the Rooney Rule is ineffective, okay? That would be like saying that the problem with cancer is that you can't fix it with an aspirin. That is not about the limitations of aspirin. That's about the problem with cancer. And the NFL has a cancer of racism when it comes to hiring people at these levels. The problem is them. Dan Graziano, my buddy, who I like a lot, he sent a tweet out that said something about how this was not a banner year for the Rooney Rule. No. And I'm not I don't chastise Dan for this. I think he just fell into an error that a lot of people fall into when it comes to the phrasing on this, and that is to blame the rule because nobody wants to blame the white people. The problem in this case is the white people who do, or more accurately, do not do some of this hiring. The issue there is them. The issue is the owners. It's all these people on top. They are the problem.
Okay, let me catch you in the Sorry, Bomani. I love like smart people. I don't care how you get there. You know what I mean? Street smart, book smart, intellectually smart, hereditary smart. Like whatever, you're just smart. I like Bomani because he's smart. Now, I disagree right now, it feels like in sentiment of what he's saying, but he hasn't finished. I will say this, though. When you look at who's being hired, one of the things I go to as my first card played is how many black coaches you think deserve to be head coaches right now? Byron Leftwich, I got you. I'm with you. Brian Flores, kind of with you. I mean, that's when you start getting into what they doing for them. I'm like, but what's the standard? What's the expectation? Just because it's allowed or it happens, then let's do it. Okay, I'm open to that, right? You should be in the Hall of Fame if you're better than the worst player in the Hall of Fame, right? I get you. But who's the one that you're like, who are the ones that you're like, Mike Tomlin quit? Who am I missing? And I'm knowing I'm missing somebody. I'm really asking who. I'm not trying to poke at you. I'm just saying, beat it up in the comments. Who? Because I don't see that long-ass line. But you say, but look at theirs. Their line ain't long. Are you kidding me? They got sons in there coaching now. Do we have that? Do we even have that? So this takes me to the conversation of how young we still are in this game. I'll break it down later.
Let me put you on to something that's part of my daily routine now. VINIA, not a powder, not a pill.
It's the Daily Chews 2X formula. And yeah, they taste good too.
It's plant-based. No stimulants, no crash, no jitters, no banned substances, no junk. It's Informed Sports certified. Just something that actually delivers. Link in description, vinia.com/Marcellus. Discount code Marcellus10 for a 10% discount. Wow.
It's been a decade plus that I knew that this day was going to come.
Oh, this is not hyperbole here.
Because I believe the verse.
Time to hydrate. Hydration's the situation, so.